Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de whether it's worth slogging through all those middle years when you're working towards early retirement but haven't quite reached it yet. I mean, should it feel like it comes with an extra stress or a level of effort, like you're playing the game of life on hard mode or something? Oh boy, something close to my heart. Hey, Zempuck here. Another day not working for the man. And mostly just me being distracted by how dense we human beings can be. Okay, so today's rant was prompted by a post that I saw on the Fire Reddit, linked in the description below, as always, that essentially is a question about the major mental hurdle that normal people are very likely to hit if you've heard of fire as a goal and are kind of maybe into it, but not quite entirely committed. Basically, the OP asks, if I want to get out of the rat race, I need more money, and to get that, I have to work harder, and therefore actually increases the stress level that I wanted to get away from in the beginning. So, is that extra level of effort and stress actually worth it, or should one simply delay, a bit of early retirement for, more the kind of life enjoyment in the now type of thing? Oh boy. While I feel the OP's frustration seeping through his questioning here, I gotta tell you, I definitely have a giant word salad for this dude, because I feel like he's generally missing the point of early retirement to begin with. Okay, so if you're intrigued by what I might say, please subscribe, like, comment, share, all that social media buzzwords, or whatever, okay, because I am rich enough for me, and I'll be great regardless. My first piece of advice is probably common sense, but seriously, work smarter, not harder, okay? Now, for people who want to fire, right, I am positive you're already working hard. Only go-getters actually even attempt early retirement. Most normal people cannot imagine or fathom retiring at a regular old people age. I mean, just listen to the public discourse and how many people lament about, oh, at this rate I'll be working until I'm dead by old age. When I hear that, I agree. I mean, if you think you're going to have to work until you die, then clearly that's indicative of having given up on any sort of self-improvement you can make in terms of your money-making potentials. So if you think that way, yeah, that's the life that you are most likely to have. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, there's the fire folks, who also work hard. So, if you're already working hard, trying to work even harder, well, that's just silly and inefficient. The reality is that in this world, a ton of people work hard and have very little to show for it. I mean, look at me. I'm just some nerdy kid. I am not saying that I work harder than, say, a janitor or a restaurant cook, but their choices and careers just makes it that much harder to get to financial freedom in a variety of manners, okay? So to the OP, trying to make more money, that's correct, that's the right attitude, but doing so, thinking the only way you can do that is by working harder, at least so much harder that you're stressed beyond your limit, oh my god, that's just poor planning, okay? Use your brain and work smarter, okay? Bounce between companies, get a raise, politick within your white-collar job better. Lots of avenues for improvement here. That is asymmetrical to simply putting in additional effort level, okay? Now, the second point, the OP asks, if it's okay to slow down a bit. That line of thinking really kind of shook me a bit, okay? My response is, yeah, dude, slow down to whatever degree you are comfortable with. Okay, early retirement is not a competition with anybody else. It is only a competition with yourself. Again, remember, a lot of people don't even think they can ever retire. And then there's a good majority of people who can only imagine retiring at a regular, old, decrepit age. So anybody who wants to fire, no matter how early, even if it's slightly early, that's totally worth it. Okay, remember, I think I mentioned this before, if you were early by 2 years, that means you have gained an equivalent of a lifetime of vacation time that we would get in the USA. So think about that. There's no timeline that you have to actually measure yourself against, right? This is not like the SATs or college examination, right? Nobody cares what other people are doing. Just do what you're comfortable with doing, right? No one's making you retire in your 20s or 30s unless you're on track of that naturally because of probably lucky circumstances, okay? I fear the way that the OP phrase is concerned has more to do with how he understands social media more than anything else. I mean, I love the FIRE groups for giving me inspirations for these little rants, but honestly, it's a very self-filtered group. If you hang out only in those spheres too much, you might start to think delusional thoughts such as, oh, you know, being a millionaire is nothing these days. I mean, that's just plain on stupidity, okay? Don't buy into that crap. Now, my final point. I want to address this idea of trading current comfort for future comfort, right? The OP's whole question seems to be based on this false concept that he has to sacrifice fun now for fun later. That is not accurate to me. FIRE, at its essence, I think, is trying to first figure out what kind of life you actually want, not what other people, such as social media or corporate advertisements, tell you that you want. But if you find yourself at the end of the day, very basic, and you must do all those keep up with the Joneses type of entertainment the modern world has to offer, then sure, I'm sorry to say, but FIRE is probably not for you. This is because no matter how much money you have and spend, someone else will always have a little bit more. There's always fancier products, fancier meals, fancier travel options, and Instagrammable whatevers. But if you can actually discover what life's little pleasures that actually mean something to you, then no matter how hard you're working at your current job, those things should not be just completely absent, right? The only thing early retirement provides is more time to devote to these meaningful, small pleasures of yours, I would say, within the context of life. Now, if you don't know what that makes you happy, then certainly, you know, if you did retire, having a great deal of free time, that's not going to make you any happier, okay? So, in conclusion, I'm happy to address the purely mental and psychological aspect of FIRE like today, instead of straight up investment advice. So for that, I am thankful to the OP. But honestly, my general gist, it reads to me, this is someone who is at their wit's end in terms of how to make more money. I'm assuming this is a young to mid-career professionals here. Now, I think this guy just needs to find something to love to do first, right? Whether it's drawing or swimming or woodworking or pickleball like me or whatever. And you gotta start doing some of that right now. For most people within the FIRE group, the process takes still at least a decade, okay? You cannot sustain this path, this kind of boring middle type of years, unless you find a reason to not burn out. Because if you burn out, you're just going to end up suddenly going like, well, I deserve to treat myself and splurge like a crazy person. So you got to find your why and your center, and then you'll be much happier and more prone to success, really in anything you do. FIRE is just, you know, nice to have, okay? If you guys disagree, please feel free to yell at me below. Cheers. Alla prochaine.